Hi. Okay, so you can hear me. How do I make it start? Green, are you in charge of that? Do I have to push a button? Ta-doo. Okay. I'm here to talk about Darwin Day, which is coming up. It's been going on for. Microphone. Okay, can you a little bit here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Darwin Day has been going on. It's a CFI event for over a decade, I'm pretty sure. And it's happening again this year. Why? I guess the first thing is, why do we need a Darwin Day? It's, just any other day. But that's not true. Let's see, here we go. Ooh, this is why we need Darwin Day. Okay, so this looks funny, but to me it's not, because it's true. That's how they think. Fred said something about I'm having faith in Darwin, and I get that that's kind of a joke, but faith is something that you have when you believe something despite not having any proof. And as far as evolution goes, there is astounding proof. Anybody who doesn't know, gravity is also a theory, and we have far more evidence for the theory of evolution than we do for the theory of gravity. Yeah, that's how out of line these people are and how really they understand science. In 2008, the whole State Board of Education debacle happened. At that point, I was executive director of the Center for Inquiry, and I was involved in fighting the man on the right there. His name is Don McElroy, and he's one of those, but look at the trees sort of Christians. And so what they wanted to do was create a curriculum that required teaching the controversy, teaching both sides of evolution, which is hogwash. There's a single theory of evolution at this point, and it has never been shown to not hold up if you have any science. And so there's the creationist thing, which they tried to sneak into the curriculum with various and sundry sneaky languages. And eventually we wore them down, and that's basically what it was. Kathy Miller, Texas Freedom Network. If you haven't had her speak before, have you had her speak? She's amazing. Come have her speak. Have her come speak. And the woman on the low media for how foolish we were. And I was there at the hearing, and Barbara Cargill said, I just don't see why we can't just put this in the books, and creationism as part of science, and that, and the people that were there who were on her side, but don't want evolution lovers to know that she's still going to toe the line on the creationism thing. We're like, you could see them. They were just jumping out of their skins, and she's like, oh, no, I'm backing up. So they still haven't changed their minds, obviously. But we did beat back the horrible language that they wanted to use in the textbooks. Now the textbooks don't really, they mean something in terms of the rest of the country having sound information in the textbook. Texas's textbook industry is giant, and we write the textbooks for much of the country. But if you know anything about education, it really comes down to the teacher. The books are there. The teacher can teach it or not, and that's another thing. So Darwin Day, like I said, more than a decade. I wish I knew how many years it was exactly. It's got to be a long time, and I've always been involved with it. It's been a wonderful thing. There are kids events, and I'm going to be looking at my phone because I forgot my notes, and somebody sent them to me on my phone. Pick up phone. Ooh. So kids events, as you can see there, they're going to have somebody from the Texas Memorial Museum bring all sorts of fossils for the kids to handle and check out. He's got a germ of some sort. Not sure what that is. Little cutie pie. There will be door prizes, and that's always fun. On the left, there's a build a dinosaur thing, and on the right, we'll have an evolution timeline. We're going to have two different evolution timelines. So as you can see, all ages, all abilities. So if a child is able to just color something in and you want to get them exposed to evolution and science and so forth, we got you covered. This is a really fun one. I'm a grown-up and I like digging through these. They have these buckets of the child on the right, buckets of flotsam left over from quarries, and they're full of fossils, little tiny fossils, shark's teeth and stuff like that. And the kids love digging through them, and so do I. And then on the left is just plain old coloring, which is always fun. When you first go in, there will be a table where you sign up for the raffle, and they tell you what there is to do and see and give you a schedule. There will be displays. If you know Shane McCain by any chance, she's an amazing artist, and she did a lot of the posters that we have up. In fact, she did the graphic for the Darwin Day and has for several years, the actual advertisement. On the right, we will have face painting. Can't beat that if you're a kiddo. This is a really cool one. You put on dinosaur blocks with paint on them, and you walk. And you know, that's kind of fun just in and of itself. But there's science there. When they measure the distance between the footsteps, they can tell you how tall you are and stuff. And science has predicted, evolution has predictive value. And so that makes a really great point. You can have your picture taken with Darwin. He's going to be there. He shows up every year. He's a little, you know, boring, but, you know, he'll put on the hat and play. We have children's speakers. Every year we have children's speakers up in the upper right hand. Some of you might recognize, calls himself Spider-Man. He works at Zookeeper, and he is wonderful. I've seen so many presentations that he's given, and he always wows the kids with stuff. Bottom left, here comes the grown-up stuff. We always have really great talks for grown-ups. Now I'm going to tell you about some of the talks that are going to be given for the kiddos first. There's a effort to put out public domain photographs of insects, and it's based through UT. And so one of the people who runs that, Alejandro Santillano, is going to be there to show pictures and what Insects Unlocked includes. Lisa Shapiro, is going to talk about how people are primates. This is one of the primary objections that a lot of creationists have to evolution, is they don't want to think that their grandfather was a gorilla or whatever, which is absurd. So she's going to talk about how people are primates and make it a little more accessible to the little guys. I didn't indoctrinate them early. Sorry, that's bad and wrong. Sorry, my bad. All right. And then this child, who is my child, is going to be giving a talk called Create Your Own World, where she's going to introduce the way that animals interact with their environment, the various biomes, the various levels of consumption and so forth, and then together as a group, you're going to make your own planet, so to speak, where you have producers and consumers and stuff, and they get to make up the critters, and the organisms have to make sense with respect to evolution, all that stuff. So she's really excited about that, and so am I, because she's awesome. And this is a talk I'm giving, and this is for grown-ups. I am going to sound really immodest here for a moment, but I gave this talk at OLLI, O-L-L-I, the Ongoing Lifelong Learners Institute at UT, and it freaking brought the house down. Come see this talk. You will not regret it. This is a talk that I have wanted to give for years. I've had it in my head. And then somebody, I don't remember, oh yeah, last year in the kids' room, I gave this, a miniature of this talk. It's like, see how this science lines up in Avatar. Evolution lines up in Avatar. And somebody from Ollie saw it and said, could you give a grown-up version? I was like, sure. And so since I gave that, they want me to come back and give it to the grown-ups in the grown-up version. Come see it, it's gonna be awesome. Chris, oh, what's his last name? My phone, I'm so sorry. The touch screen is dying and so I'm having difficulties. Chris, oh golly, what's his last name? I'm sorry. Chris Kirk, and he's going to talk about the evolution of eyes. This is also important if you're going to talk to a creationist, because they'll say, oh my gosh, the eye is so complicated, it can't possibly have evolved, it had to have been created by God. Okay, if that's true, then why are there anywhere between 40 and 100 different times that eyes have evolved independently? There's some sort of advantage in being able to perceive light. Yeah? Yeah, any organism that gets any sort of photoreceptive sort of ability is going to have an advantage from there. So there are at least 40 different ways that eyes have evolved in different organisms. So he's going to talk about that. And then, just like any good birthday party, there will be cake. You have to have cake. Every year we have cake. Cake, cake, cake. And if you know Ali Broche, you know this reference. If you haven't seen Ali Broche, look her thing up on cake. You will laugh till you cry. She's an amazing comedian type person. This is me after the cake and her after the cake. Okay, so where is it? You know where Pickle campus is? North on Burnett Road. That orange building, if you're colorblind, is anybody colorblind and can't see the orange? Okay, that orange building is where it is. I am on the signs committee for getting people into that building, so if you have trouble finding it, blame me. It's kind of, it looks like it's straightforward. It looks like you just go in off of Burnett Road. You do have to enter from Burnett Road and go straight there, but there are fences and weird parking lot things and stuff. So I'm in charge of signs because every year I look at it and go, oh, this is jacked. It needs to be fixed up. Have I forgotten anything? Oh, one more fun thing. In between the two grown-up talks, between my talk and Chris Kirk's talk, there's a trivia contest. There'll be 3 rounds of it, and Steve Brading is the king of science trivia, and I mean trivia. It's like 12 questions on each one, and I'm lucky if I can get 6. And I'm a PhD for crying out loud in the bucket. And he'll come up with these things. I'm like, what the what? I look at it and he'll say, trivia. I'm like, yeah. But if you win, you get a box of chocolates. So it's really worth trying. So there's just a ton of fun, good people, lots of things to do. Let me see what else I have forgotten down here that, oh, stop it. Life under the microscope. Oh, I don't have a picture. Yeah, you know about that?
Yes, we're doing it.
You're doing it! Yes, that's the score. I was wondering if it was going to be there.
I wore my Darwin.
Woohoo! I should have worn mine too. I didn't think of it.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
For you.
Don't mess with Darwin. Yeah, yeah. This is one of my favorites, and it's a big kids' favorites. And everybody on the committee said we have to have that back. So I'm glad you're back, because last year it was like, whoo! They put whatever pond scum or critters that are whatever under a microscope that is live, so everybody can see it.
And we attach it to our computer, so you can look at it, take pictures, mail it to you if you want, or you can look at your phone.
Awesome! Yeah, right? Okay. Let's see. Well, there's right on. Okay, and then there's a storyteller as well that I forgot to mention. And another storyteller, I'm not sure if they're reading books or telling their own stories. Paleolithic RPG. But, oh, it's a game. I forgot to put this in here. Oh, dang it. Where is that slide? Oh, fiddly-dee. Yeah, there's a role-playing game. RPG. Did I somehow skip it? I thought I put that slide in there. Oh, crud niblets. Yeah, it's not in there. So, yeah. Yeah, when is it? There's all that. It's February 10th, right? And does it start at noon?
Well,
See, I have to be there at a different time, and so I'm sorry. It's a Saturday and it starts at noon, and I think it goes till 6. It's gonna be fun. We had, so it's all known, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Which thing did you do?
I did one of the kids' tables.
Uh-huh, which one?
The dinosaur they were playing.
Picture?
I didn't see
Let's
that.
see. No, I had
Last year's.
a picture, it must not be the one that you were in. It was a woman with blonde hair.
It was
Yeah.
a great event.
Yeah. Because the kids are snazzed and it's great. Noon, I believe. Is that right? Thank you. Right. Any questions?
Yeah, there's gonna be a scare. A lot of times I'll want to take the children someplace and I can take them. But then I don't really know what's going on and I find out after the fact. You mean they had that? Oh, I
That's
wish I was in
frustrating.
there. So is there going to be?
Yeah, there should be one online. If you do Google CFI Darwin Day 2016, 18, this is 2018. I've been working on something for 2016, that's why. It'll come up and there will be a schedule there. Yeah, right now, if you want to look at that. Center for Inquiry. It is an international organization and Austin has its very own chapter and we're really super independent of the international one. That kind of started with me and Steve has just rode that puppy on because the mothership is difficult and we just wanted to do reason and do our thing and leave us alone. And Steve is so good at that. I was kind of good at that, but he's really good at that. So CFI just rocks now here. Yeah.
What are the volunteer opportunities if anybody would like to get involved?
Right. It's wrangling people and stuff is probably, and if you want to sit at a table and work with kiddos or something like that, I'm sure that they would be able to use you. So that sort of thing, mostly. Probably set up and tear down are the two things that, and for either of those, I can give you my contact information, or you can, she can be the liaison. It looks like you've got multiple people who can help you connect to Steve Bradding, who is the person who's the head of all of this here. Yeah.
do you know if we have a poster yet?
I think
Here with my daughter.
that's the image that's going to be on the poster. I don't know about, you know,
Do we have print, like a
the flyer. Oh, that, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know. It would probably look something like that.
I'll find out.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm just the speaker. I don't actually know anything. What else? Yeah, and the Texas Memorial Museum, they used to have their own Darwin Day. If you've ever been to that, and their program got gutted. I mean, there are literally 2 people running that whole museum now. The director changes light bulbs in the building. It's criminal. So they don't do Darwin Day anymore, and they have kind of jumped all their stuff into our stuff. So Pam, the woman who used to do Darwin Day at the TMM, she'll be doing her stuff with CFI. Let's see, any other? Oh. More questions? Thanks, and I hope to see you there. It's free. It's free.
There's free parking.
And there's free parking. And I will have signs there so that you cannot.
Awesome.
All right.